Hello everybody! In this video we're going to practice some reading. There are so many things I want to see, so many things I want to do with my life, and the other day when I was in the bookstore I came across this book. It is called The Bucket List, 1000 Adventures Big and Small, and it's really cool because it lists places all over the world where people normally go for big and small adventures or things that people commonly put on their bucket list. So what we're going to do in this lesson is read the introduction of this book. So I will read the introduction, but first, before I do, I'm going to give you a set of comprehension questions. These are questions that you should try to answer while I'm reading the text to see how much you can understand while you're listening. Of course, you can also read along because I will put the text on the screen. After I finish reading, we will go over the comprehension questions. I will give you the answers to the comprehension question, and I will also point out some key vocabulary. So before I begin, let's just cover the comprehension questions. The first question that I want you to listen for is this. When did people start using the term bucket list? Second question. The introduction gives examples of certain types of entries that can appear on a bucket list. What types does it mention, and what examples does it give for each type? And then lastly, the last comprehension question is, according to this introduction, why should you put something on your bucket list? Okay, so I will keep the comprehension questions up here as I read, but let's get started. At every point of our lives, we have things we really want to do. Whether it's to perform on stage with Katy Perry when we're 7, or to walk under cherry trees in Kyoto when we're 70. We've come to refer to these wish lists as bucket lists, even though we make them at any age, and not just when kicking the bucket is a more eminent concern. Often the wishes are travel related, but they don't have to be. In fact, the term bucket list only came into popular use after the 2007 movie The Bucket List made it big. And guess what was on screenwriter Justin Zacham's list? Get a movie made by a major studio. Bucket list entries take many forms. They can be personal goals, such as writing a novel, or epic adventures, such as taking a road trip. They can be a big deal, such as scaling every mountain on every continent, or gentle achievements, such as selling something you made with your own hands. Some people's bucket lists are about doing something in a certain time, such as James Asquith, who wanted to visit every sovereign country in the world before he was 25. He completed it, earning himself a spot in Guinness World Records in the process. Other entries can reflect more on the simple pleasures of life. In the bucket list movie, number 3 on Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman's list was Laugh Until I Cry. What makes a goal worthy of appearing on a bucket list is that it's something you've never done before. You'll get a deep personal satisfaction from doing it, and you'll remember the experience for the rest of your life. In this book, we have brought together 1,000 different ideas for a bucket list. We start at the North Pole and work our way down the planet by latitude until we arrive at the South Pole. There are ideas that are definitely destination-based, such as climbing to the top of Sigiriya in Sri Lanka, and others that could act as inspiration to add an activity to your list, such as taking a cue from Memory Lane in Syracuse, in the US, to write your memoirs. To easily find the locations of the bucket list entries in this book, simply visit www.quare2knows.com/page/bucket-list. Okay, so let's go over some of these comprehension questions. The first question I asked you is, when did people start using the term bucket list? And according to this introduction, this wasn't a term that people really used until the movie. There was a movie that came out called The Bucket List in 2007. After that movie came out, this became a more popular term. The second comprehension question was, this introduction gives different examples of certain types of entries people might put on their bucket list. So what types does it mention, and can you give an example of each type? So the way that I answered this is that some of the examples it gives are personal goals, such as writing a novel or making a movie would be an example of a personal goal. They list adventure goals, such as road trips. There are big and small goals, right? A big goal would be maybe climbing to the top of a mountain, whereas a small goal might be something like selling something that you made with your own hands. And there are timed specific goals, so goals that you want to achieve in a certain amount of time or before a certain date, such as traveling to every country by the time you're 25 years old, as it mentions in the text. And the last one they mention is a simple goal that is about everyday life. Like in the movie The Bucket List, one of the goals was to laugh until I cry. This is a simple pleasure of everyday life, but they're no less important than the other goals. And the last question was, according to the introduction, why should you put something on your bucket list? And this text states that you should put something on your bucket list if it is something you want to do and you've never done before, and it will give you a really deep sense of satisfaction that you will remember for the rest of your life. Okay, now we're going to take a look at some of the vocabulary in this little introduction. So let's look at these two words in context. First, we have kick the bucket, which is an idiom. And next we have imminent, which is an adjective. So if you want to, you can pause the video here and try to guess the meaning from context before I give you the answer. All right, so kick the bucket is an expression that we use to just mean to die. Hence the term bucket list. It's a list of things that you want to do before you die. And imminent means about to happen or happening very soon. In this case, in the context here, it would mean that death is about to happen soon. A lot of times you hear this word with imminent danger. If you are in imminent danger, that means that something dangerous is about to happen to you very soon. All right, next we have the idiom make it big. Pause the video, read the snippet, and see if you can guess what make it big means. Make it big means to become very successful or famous. This is usually used with movies or even when actors or actresses become very popular very quickly. That can be described as making it big. Those actors or actresses have made it big. All right, next up we have a big deal and we have scale. So again, pause here and see if you can guess the meaning. So when we say that something is a big deal, it means that it is something that we consider to be important or serious, right? And scale, to scale something, sometimes scale can have multiple meanings, but in this case, it means to climb to the top of something like a mountain. Lastly, we have to speak to you or to speak to someone and to get going. So as always, pause here. See if you can guess from the context. So if something speaks to you, it means that you like it. It has a special place in your heart, or it gives you a particular feeling, or it has a certain meaning to you. It's special to you in some way. For example, a painting might speak to you, or a movie might speak to you. For example, if this YouTube video spoke to you, if you liked it, if it was meaningful or important to you, you might give it a thumbs up or you might subscribe to my channel. Now, get going simply means to begin or to start. So if I say to you, we need to get going, it means that we need to start, we need to move, we need to do something. All right, so let's review this video. In today's lesson, we practice reading from a travel book for native speakers, and we talked about bucket lists specifically. And we also learned some new vocabulary, such as kick the bucket, which is where the expression bucket list comes from. We learned make it big and other things like get going. So I'm really curious. In the comments, if you want to leave me a message, what is on your bucket list? Is your bucket list mostly travel, or do you have some personal goals on there also? I would love to know. And of course, if you liked this video, if you liked this style, if you liked to practice your reading, please let me know and I will definitely make more of these. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.